The Now Habit, a strategic program for overcoming procrastination and enjoying guilt-free play by Dr. Neil Fiore. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss our deep dives into life-changing books that help you master productivity, mindset, and personal growth. Today, we're exploring one of the most impactful and psychologically insightful books ever written about a problem that affects nearly everyone at some point: procrastination. The book is called The Now Habit, a strategic program for overcoming procrastination and enjoying guilt-free play by Dr. Neil Fiore. This isn't just another time management guide. It's a deep exploration of why we procrastinate and how we can rewire our mindset to act with confidence, balance, and self-compassion. Neil Fiore, a psychologist and performance coach, begins by explaining that procrastination is not a sign of laziness or lack of discipline. It's actually a coping mechanism for deeper emotional struggles. When we face a big task or goal, our minds often respond with fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, or even fear of success. This fear creates anxiety, and to escape that discomfort, we avoid the task. Avoidance brings temporary relief, but also guilt and self-blame, which in turn create more anxiety and more avoidance. Fiore calls this the procrastination loop. The only way to break this loop is to understand that procrastination is not the problem itself. It's a symptom of the way we think about work, success, and our own self-worth. One of the most powerful insights Fiore offers is about perfectionism. Many people think being a perfectionist means striving for excellence. But Fiore clarifies that it's actually rooted in fear. Perfectionists don't aim high because they love improvement. They aim high because they're terrified of failure. When you believe your worth depends on flawless results, any imperfection feels catastrophic, so you delay starting to avoid potential failure. Ironically, this leads to rushed, last-minute work that's far from perfect. Fiore suggests replacing perfectionism with self-compassion and progress. Instead of saying, "I must do this perfectly," say, "I'll do my best with the time I have." This mindset reduces fear and frees you to take action, because effort and learning become more important than flawless results. A key tool introduced in the Now Habit is something Fiore calls the Unschedule. Traditional scheduling methods often fail because they fill your calendar with work obligations and leave little space for rest, fun, or creativity. The Unschedule flips that script. You start by scheduling your playtime, exercise, meals, and relaxation first, before adding work blocks. This may sound counterintuitive, but it helps restore balance and eliminates the guilt that procrastinators often feel when they try to relax. With the Unschedule, work becomes just one part of your day, not your entire identity. Another rule of the Unschedule is that you only record time after you've worked, not what you plan to do. This way, you're focusing on actual progress rather than punishing yourself for unmet goals. Over time, this builds motivation through accomplishment instead of guilt. Fiore also teaches the importance of changing your self-talk. Procrastinators often use what he calls victim language, filled with phrases like "I have to," "I should," or "I must." These words imply that you're being forced to do something against your will, triggering resistance and avoidance. Instead, Fiore suggests using choice language. Replace "I have to" with "I choose to" or "I want to." This small shift restores your sense of control and autonomy. When you say, "I choose to work on this project so I can enjoy my evening later," you transform obligation into empowerment. This change in inner dialogue reduces pressure and makes starting feel lighter and more voluntary. Another highly practical technique from Fiore is what he calls the 30-minute rule. When you feel paralyzed by a big task, don't promise yourself you'll finish it. Simply commit to starting for 30 minutes. Tell yourself you can stop after that if you want. Most of the time, once you start, momentum takes over, and you continue working. The hardest part of any task is beginning it. This method works because action itself reduces anxiety. The moment you engage with the task, your brain's stress response starts to calm down and confidence grows. This simple principle, just start, even for half an hour, can break the strongest procrastination habits. One of the most revolutionary ideas in the Now Habit is the concept of guilt-free play. Fiore argues that rest and recreation are not rewards for finishing work. They're essential parts of a healthy, productive life. Many procrastinators never truly relax because they feel they should be working. This constant guilt drains energy and leads to burnout. By scheduling guilt-free play, you give your mind and body a chance to recharge. When you know that fun and relaxation are built into your schedule, you work with more focus during work periods and enjoy your breaks more fully. This balance prevents the emotional exhaustion that often triggers procrastination in the first place. Fiore also explores how our early experiences shape our relationship with work. Many chronic procrastinators grew up in environments where work was linked to criticism, punishment, or unrealistic expectations. As adults, they associate work with fear and judgment, which naturally leads to avoidance. To break this pattern, Fiore suggests developing a producer mindset. A producer sees work as a creative act, an opportunity to build, express, and contribute. Instead of feeling victimized by deadlines, you see yourself as the director of your time and energy. This mental shift from "I have to do this" to "I choose to create this" can completely transform how you approach work. Fiore also dispels the myth that people work best under pressure. While some believe that the adrenaline rush of last-minute panic boosts performance, Fiore explains that this pressure motivation is actually a form of self-inflicted stress. It narrows creativity, weakens focus, and creates chronic fatigue. Instead, he recommends building positive pressure through structure, clear goals, and self-imposed mini deadlines. When you spread your work across manageable chunks and reward yourself along the way, you recreate the motivational benefits of urgency without the chaos and anxiety of procrastination. Interestingly, Fiore points out that some people procrastinate not because they fear failure, but because they fear success. Success can bring new expectations, responsibilities, and attention that feel overwhelming. If you subconsciously fear losing your freedom or being judged for your achievements, you may hold yourself back by delaying. The solution, Fiore says, is to recognize that success doesn't imprison you. It expands your opportunities. Growth doesn't mean perfection. It simply means becoming more of who you already are. When you embrace success as part of your evolution, the fear begins to fade. A unique aspect of the Now Habit is Fiore's emphasis on relaxation and visualization. Before starting a task, he suggests taking a few minutes to breathe deeply, release tension, and visualize yourself working calmly and confidently. Imagine completing your task with ease and satisfaction. Visualization trains your mind to associate work with positive feelings rather than dread. It conditions your body to stay relaxed and focused. This practice draws from sports psychology, where athletes use mental imagery to prepare for peak performance. When you picture yourself succeeding, your brain begins to believe it's possible, and that belief fuels real action. Fiore's ultimate goal is not just to help you meet deadlines, but to create a lifestyle where procrastination becomes unnecessary. This means designing your days with a natural flow of work, rest, and recreation. You begin each day with intention, identify your key priorities, and commit to showing up for them, even briefly. Over time, this consistency builds self-trust, the foundation of true productivity. You stop waiting for motivation and start relying on systems that make action inevitable. Work no longer feels like a battle. It becomes a rhythm. At its core, the Now Habit is also a book about self-worth. Fiore emphasizes that your value as a person does not depend on how much you achieve. Many procrastinators tie their identity to their performance. If they fail at a task, they feel like failures as human beings. This fragile sense of worth makes starting any important work terrifying. Fiore helps readers separate who they are from what they do. You can make mistakes, miss deadlines, or produce imperfect work without it defining your worth. This emotional safety is crucial because when you stop fearing judgment, you free yourself to act, create, and learn without hesitation. The key lessons from the Now habit can be summed up as follows. Procrastination is not laziness, but a protective behavior rooted in fear. Perfectionism fuels that fear by setting impossible standards. The Unschedule helps you reclaim balance by planning play first and tracking real work after it's done. Self-talk shapes motivation, so replace "I have to" with "I choose to." Starting small breaks paralysis, so just begin for 30 minutes. Guilt-free play restores energy and focus. Visualization and relaxation calm your body and mind. And most importantly, your self-worth is not tied to productivity. When you internalize these principles, you don't just overcome procrastination, you transform your entire relationship with time and effort. Ultimately, the Now habit is more than a self-help book. It's a philosophy of living. Neil Fiore invites you to stop fighting yourself and start working with yourself. He shows that the way to overcome procrastination isn't through punishment or rigid discipline, but through understanding, structure, and self-respect. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment or perfect mood. You can begin now, gently, confidently, one step at a time. Productivity, in Fiore's view, isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters in a way that feels healthy and fulfilling. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this detailed summary of the Now habit gave you powerful insights and practical tools to finally overcome procrastination and reclaim your time. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more in-depth book summaries and life improvement guides. Your support helps me keep creating valuable content for all of you. Remember, the perfect time to act doesn't exist. The only real time you have is now. Take that first small step today and keep building from there. See you in the next video.